you how to find your ideal squat depth. So, I'm in a power rack here. I am just going to get my preferred squat stance, and I am going to get down as deep as possible. Now, you'll notice how upright I can be because I'm holding onto these supports. But I can get into, sink as deep as my butt allows. So, if you can see my butt is rock bottom here, but come around, Charles. Look at my low back posture. I am fully rounded. So I don't want that. I am in lumbar flexion and posterior pelvic tilt. So I'm going to use my erectors to tilt. So now I get to where I can tilt my pelvis and I can get to like around a neutral posture. The problem is, right now I'm still using the uprights. I would need to lean forward slightly. This is what you do in a real squat. So now I've got the pelvis tilted forward all the way. Now the problem is, look, I'm up on my toes. So that's not a good squat. So if I want to be down on pushing through my heels, I need a compromise. I can't be this deep. If I come up all the way onto my toes, I can keep a strong arch, but this is not the way you want to squat. So where is the depth that allows me to stay on my heels while keeping an arch in my back and not going into too much posterior pelvic tilt? So go back down to my heels, okay, relax. Get an arch, push through the heels. Now I kind of tinker with, here I'm not all the way arched. I come up a little bit, I come up a little bit, now I'm arched. I'm fully arched. I'm pushing through my heels, I'm leaning forward like a real squat. This is as deep as I can go and still maintain good position. So this is my optimal squat depth. Not here. This I'm going into too much lumbar flexion. I can keep this deep if I rise up on my toes, but that's not ideal. So the depth that allows me, my personal anatomy, to go as deep as possible while keeping an arch and pushing through the heels is right here. So if I go deeper than this, I'm going to either rise up onto my toes or round my low back. So this is just, a few inches below parallel. I can't go, ass to grass like some Olympic powerlifters can, but it's still deeper than than a lot of people. So try that drill. Pay attention to your lumbopelvic posture. Pay attention to, if you're pushing through the heels and feeling the weight staying on your heels. And then tinker around with your depth to see what is optimal for you. Some people can't even really make it to parallel. I remember a guy in Auckland that he would start to tilt about right here. He would start to round. He couldn't get much deeper than this. It was crazy. That's probably due to his hip anatomy. Now you can improve upon this over time by strengthening the glutes, by doing different flexibility drills, by improving ankle dorsiflexion, by improving, hip mobility in the hip flexors and adductors and hip extensors. But your anatomy dictates things because there's only so deep you can go depending on the shape of your socket and the head of your femur. Now, before I close here, you can do the same thing for deadlift depth. So you can kind of get down here and round, and then from here, make your shins pretty vertical. Because when the bar actually goes off the ground, you're not like this. Your shins are pretty vertical. So make your shins pretty vertical here. You can round, relax, and now from here, get an arch. Okay? So right here is about my ideal. This is as deep as I can squat while keeping the arch. I can't go, if it were much deeper than that, I couldn't keep an arched back position without having my shins go forward. So some people will do this, and they'll go like this, and they'll be rounded, and then they get an arch, and they're right here. Well, this is above where the bar would be if it was positioned on the ground. So that pulls or rack pulls or hex bar deadlifts, because with hex bar deadlifts, you can let the knees migrate forward a little bit and keep an arch. This way you can be like this, but you can't deadlift this way conventional style. Anyway, try those drills, see if they help you find your ideal depth. Thanks for watching.